There we go. Okay. Well, welcome everyone to the June meeting of the Planning Committee of Sandwich Town Council. Item 1, well, I must say welcome to our new colleagues. Yeah, welcome. Okay. Item 1, apologies for absence received.
Thank you, Chair. So we have apologies this evening from Councillor William Fortescue, who has a travel commitment, Councillor Mark Morehouse, who has an illness preventing him coming this evening. Thank you.
Okay.
And Nicky Warden, sorry, apologies for Nicky Warden.
Okay. Item 2, declarations of interest. To receive any declarations of disclosable pecuniary interest from members in respect of business to be transacted on the agenda.
Sorry. Yeah, mine's item 5E, which is Sandwich Technology School, for which I'm a school governance manager.
Item K, 24/00575.
St George's Road.
This is my property.
Oh, your property?
So I shall withdraw from the room and take no part in that discussion.
I should think so. I thought it was your neighbour.
No, you live now. Okay, thank you. Item 3, minutes of the Planning Committee. To approve the minutes of the Planning Committee held on Monday the 30th of May 2024 and to consider any matters arising from those minutes not covered elsewhere in this agenda.
Proposed recommendation.
Sorry, we have comments from Councillor Black, who attended the last meeting. So I just wanted to read those and see if you agree the amendment. It does say in the minutes, Councillor I. Black had opposed the building on site SAP 21, Sandwich Technology School Fields, for over 10 years and was unhappy to find out the school would be giving up a field which was gifted to them for the building of a further 20 houses. So Councillor Black wants that removed. He said that is wrong. He wants to stipulate that he has continually objected to building on SAP 21 and he does have a dispensation in place. Also, DDC proposed with the land agent for the school that if the landowner gave the school enough land for an additional football pitch, planning permission would rise from 40 houses to 60. His objections were that this area should not be built on at all, that the additional 20 houses were not justified, that there had been no consultation with STC about donating the land and increasing the housing allocation. So if members are happy with that amendment to the minutes.
I'm happy with that. I mean, it's just that it's because they're not having the swimming pool, isn't it? And the hockey pitch that you want to read.
Propose accepting the amendment and recommending the minutes.
Yeah, you happy with that, Mark? Do we all change the minutes, amend it?
Sorry?
Happy with amending the
I'm
minutes?
happy with the amendment, yes.
Yeah.
Are you seconding it? Are you?
I can second it.
Yeah.
Super, that's
He walks into that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super. Everyone in favour, I think we are. Yeah. Everyone in favour of that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Amendment. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Item 4, public participation. Do we have anyone?
No request, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Item 5, planning applications. Application plans and papers can be viewed via the Dover District Council website. A. Planning application reference number 24/00489. Proposal, erection of a single-storey rear extension, garage to be demolished. Location 19 Polders Garden, Sandwich, Kent, CT 13 0BE.
I'm sorry. At first I was rather worried about this extension because if you saw the measurements on the planning, it said it was 6 metres by 6.6 metres. So it looked actually larger than the house was actually. But taking away the garage, it still has driving on the parking on the driveway. so which is quite good. And although it's larger, when you see the elevation, block elevations, it's only single storey,
Yeah.
so I don't believe it will cause any problems.
It's a big part, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed, so I'm quite happy to propose acceptance of this.
And I'd like to second that.
Okay.
There's no objection.
Yeah,
from me.
we strongly support this application. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. B, planning application reference number 24/00209. Planning proposal is retrospective planning for the siting of storage of facilities containers and for the proposed operational development of the site to include further containers and gated compounds solely for maritime storage and maintenance. Location, coastal marine at Ramsgate Road, Sandwich City, 139LR. I think it's just on that big wharf there, isn't it? And it's out of the way, isn't it? And I think he's trying to do it.
Yeah, I'd be happy to support this. I think the KCC recommendation is that there should be a surface water drainage plan provided.
Yeah.
So with that proviso or recommendation, I'd be happy to support this. I think it has lots of support from the boating community.
I'd like to second that. I
Second
think
that.
we should support the maritime, facilities that we have in this town. So
Because I think there's something there originally, wasn't it? Because the drainage was ready there, you know, the
that's right.
toilet drainage and everything.
So can I just add, I'll echo what Colin has said. I think we clearly state that we would support the recommendation by KCC for a flood and water management strategy.
Yeah.
So we don't lose that in the mix. So I support it, but
Yeah.
I think we need to state that.
Yeah, that's
Because of its location to the water.
Yeah, I think about in case there's any oil that's spilt on the, and then gets washed out of the river. So we're all in favour of that then? I think that. Okay, thank you. Item C, planning application reference number 24/00471. Proposed erection of sauna, steam room and garden room, excavation of ground for plunge pool with associated hard and soft landscaping work, removal or relocation of one small hawthorn tree, T11, location Whitefriars, 34 New Street, Sandwich, Kent, CT13 9AB. Well, I do know there is already 3 swimming pools within the ancient town of Sandwich, and it is a rather large garden, so.
Yeah, I haven't got anything against the, actually, it's a plunge pool, isn't it, not a swimming pool?
Yeah.
And also the other items there, I mean, you know, if people want these things in their back gardens, then so be it, you know, they should have them if they want them, as long as they're not causing any concern to the neighbours. The only problem with this one was there were quite a number of complaints on this planning application. When you read through the complaints, there was quite a number of issues. Several of the complaints were about the noise issue, because obviously there's a pump plant for the plunge pool, but instead of being closer to the owner's property, it's very close to the rear of numbers 2 and 4, Whitefriars. So that's one issue, is to do with the noise. The other one of the other complaints said that there was no direction as to how this leisure complex was going to be lit in the evening time. Would there be any additional lighting as part of this planning application, which would have to be considered in a heavy residential area? So that's another issue there. And there's also issues to do with the access road, which has been abused in the past. There's got to be some recommendation on access to and from the site, particularly for heavy lorries. And finally, the tree planting, because although they say they're only taking 1 tree away, and you see the overall site location plan, there's a lot more trees there. So I would have liked the tree warden to actually review this one before we recommend it. But they're my comments.
Yeah.
I'm going to object. From my perspective, having looked at the plans, the garden is substantial. It's just slightly under 0.6 of an acre. However, the layout of what's proposed includes the plant room, which has been mentioned, sauna, steam room, garden room, and it, whilst it's called a plunge pool, for all intents and purposes, it's a swimming pool in terms of size. So my objection, the material objection, is around the noise impact because of the location of the plant room itself, but not just that, the garden room is next to it as well, and how that will impact the neighbours on Whitefriars Way. And then there's just a note around the possible impact on archaeological remains, whether there are or aren't any there. It's not been answered, but my material consideration is around the impact on the neighbours directly behind property.
Yeah, I think I would echo that. I mean, this is a very large holiday home. I'm not sure how many bedrooms it has. It must have 6 or 7 bedrooms, I would imagine. So this development includes 2 flat roof buildings, which generally we've been opposed to within the conservation area, and a swimming pool. A plunge pool for me is a pool you plunge into and climb out of. You can't swim in a plunge pool, but this is clearly a pool you can swim in. So I foresee groups of people having pool parties, noise, lighting, noise from machinery and plant, plus the access. I've had a look at that. It's a very tight, constrained access on Whitefriars Way. So I'm not sure how you're going to get heavy plant and machinery coming in and out of there. So I would be inclined to object to this.
Did they actually say they was going to use the access? That garden wall's all blocked off, isn't it? The access should really be from New Street, shouldn't it? Should be.
There is a
There was
automatic
one
gate
entrance there,
there.
isn't there?
There's a
Yeah.
gate there.
Yeah, previously they came in via the back, when they were doing building work there before, could have damaged the wall of one of the adjoining properties.
It's a terrace property, so I'm not sure about the access
There's no
from New
access.
Street.
No, I
Yeah.
thought the access had been blocked when they did Whitefriars Way. Don't count. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I'm not opposed to the application in principle, but I do think it needs more work. I was particularly concerned about the effect on the surrounding area while the work is going on, knowing how much earth would need to be excavated to achieve the objectives. So I would be inclined to support an objection to the proposal.
Yeah. I mean, it's also the design of the buildings, isn't it, with the flat roofs, isn't it? Yeah, I mean those.
That's correct, yes. So we're putting in an objection to the current planning application as it is,
Yeah.
on the grounds of noise, lighting, flat roofs,
Yeah, design.
and inadequate access.
Yeah.
From the back.
Is that right?
Does John?
Did you want to say?
Well, I was only going to say that I noticed from the objections, a lot of people are saying this is being used as an Airbnb.
Yeah.
And living opposite one, what happens is 2 people hire the place out, and they bring all their mates down on a Saturday night, and probably unbeknownst to the people at home, and you get noise and lights and things on all night. And they said that the lights have quite often been left on all night, and that little terrace in Whitefriars, it must be shining right to their back garden. But, as far as the archaeology goes, I don't. At that end, it's quite negligible. Most of the archaeology that's already been trashed anyway is down this end, near the car parks, where the church was and the cloisters and all that sort of thing. So I don't think that there's very much up there.
That's fine, that's fine.
Okay, so all in favour that we turn this object to this proposal, yeah.
We'll take a vote.
Yeah. All in favour,
I propose we object to this
Yeah.
proposal.
I second.
Yeah. All in favour? Yeah, I think we are. Yeah.
Thank you.
Item D, planning application reference number 24/00413, proposal alter petitions to ground and first floor ground layout, amend plateau roof light, replace one number first floor front elevation window, replace and upgrade internal wall, floor and ceiling tile, rebuild garden wall, location 42 King Street, Sandwich. I think that's an optician's place, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is, so this is the optician's house. I don't know if anybody's ever been in it or been into the backyard of this one, but it is exceptionally run down and it needs extensive renovation and restoring really. And so my proposal tonight on this one would be for it to go ahead. They're going to actually match up the windows because obviously the ground floor was the, as we said, with the opticians, so it had a clear single pane glass, and that's going to be restored so it matches the upper floors windows there. So, dependent on other people speaking on this item, I'd like to propose recommendation of this application.
Because they did put it to go from a retail shop, didn't they, office, to a house. I mean, this is just some extra work that they found, isn't it? I think as they're uncovering it, ripping off all the lather and plasters. And I'm quite surprised they're going to put lather and plaster back, which is brilliant, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah. Did this receive consent for change of use?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, it's yet another
Yeah.
retail space lost in the core primary shopping area.
Yeah, I'd like to second Paul's nomination because I think it's a well thought through presentation of what they want to do, materials being used.
Exactly.
Good quality work, isn't it? Okay. Anything else? Are we all in favour of this? I think we are. Yeah. Thank you. We all strongly support it. Okay. Item E, planning application, reference number 24/00 504, proposed erection of a single story extension to entrance port, location Sandwich Technology School, Deal Road, Sandwich, Kent, CT 130FA. I think it's just another bit of protection for the children when it's raining, isn't it? Or students, I should say.
It looks like a very sensible proposal. It's very small in terms of impact, but
On the side of the building.
Yeah.
I think that.
I'll see why you have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
You propose to make councillors.
I'd like to propose
Yeah, I
it,
second
yes.
that, 'cause I think it's, we all,
Second.
yeah, it was two.
One
Yeah, we've got one abstention.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're all in
Thank
favour,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, no abstention.
F, planning application, reference number 24/00518, proposal, erection of a fence with an integral entry-exit turnstile, location Discovery Park House, Ramsgate Road, Sandwich, Kent, CT 139ND.
Yeah, and this is just really mirroring the fencing that is on the left-hand side as you drive down Ramsgate Road. So this would be mirroring it, be exactly the same fencing. They're planning to put in a new turnstile gate, the same as they've got on the left-hand side, to get entrance to that main building reception there. And I can understand why they're wanting to do it. I mean, just of recent, there's been a large number of demonstrations at that property over the last few months, and these people are working on things that need to be protected. So I think it's a necessity really. So as long as it's done to the planning and to a suitable standard, I'd say go ahead.
Yeah, I'll echo what Mr Mayor said. It's due to the security instances that they've had over the last few months. They've had a lot of considerable damage done to the front of the building as well, regarding paint being sprayed up walls and windows and stuff, and windows being broken. So I second Mr Mayor's proposal.
Fully support it.
Yeah, I think, we have a vote, I think, fully support that, yeah. Okay. G, planning application reference number 24/00425 and 24/00424, proposal installation of 2 number replacement windows with double glazed timber frame windows, rear elevation, location 11 Gardeners Quay, Upper Strand Street, Sandwich, Kent, CT 139DH. Nice to meet.
I propose this be supported.
Second.
I would second that. Yeah, it's windows are sort of going to match what's exactly there, and they're going to be wooden windows as well, so which is better than new PVC. So and from the design that the joinery, from the joinery details, I thought there were actually better windows that are going in than the ones that are coming out. So I'd like to second that.
If you're wondering, well, there's 2 planning applications. One is a planner and one is a conservation area. So if it's in the conservation area, you have to have 2.
Listed building,
Okay, but listed building consent. All in favour? I think voting that one up. Yeah, I think so. Thank you. H, planning application reference number 24/00459 and 24/00460, replacement front door and repointed to front elevation, location 8 Potter Street, Sandwich, Kent, CT 39DR. I mean, that's nice as well.
Yep.
That's a nice new door, isn't it?
It is,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
I haven't got
yeah,
anything
yeah.
against it.
Oh, I'm set. Get me there with the
I'll
book.
second that.
Second it. All in favour?
Yeah.
Yeah. J. No, not with an eye, aren't we?
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah. Planning application reference number 24/00539. Proposal reconstruction of roof frame to front of range to number 22. Location 22 Market Street, Sandwich, Kent, CT 139DA. That's another old one, councillor Ours.
Yeah, so this is a property that was again turned into residential some while ago. I
Yeah.
believe there was some, before my time, but there was some controversy attached to the
Yes.
change of use.
Yeah.
So my philosophical question, if you like, is we have a local plan which supports the retention of retail properties within the primary shopping area.
Mhm.
So should we as a committee be doing anything to help properties such as this to become more desirable as residential units?
I think the
When
trouble
we
is,
want to see it come back as a retail unit if possible in the future.
I think the problem is it's in such a poor state, that roof, isn't it? And no one else would touch it. It was up for sale for years. It used to be white and full. It's give me age away now, but you used to get me school uniform there. But it's most probably it'll only be a private individual that buys it to do it into a house.
That's my question
Yeah.
for the committee.
It was, if I come back on that, sorry, on council, I was thinking, because I was actually district council officer up at DDC when this happened, and it was investigated. So I called it in when it first went across residential, and obviously you know, there's the net curtains or blinds that are put up for quite a long period of time. And I did ask Dover District Council to send an officer out and investigate the thing, so the property was investigated. Dover District Council came to the recommendation that because it had been made residential for such a long period of time, yeah, it's about 5 years, they'd had just put net curtains up and flowers and things.
It was
outside.
very, when it was done, choose my words carefully, it was done and a lot of retrospective applications were put in after it was done and it was accepted.
Yeah.
That I hate retrospective planning applications, I really don't like them.
I think when she first moved in there, she did have it as a soft furnishing shop, didn't she?
Yes.
Because it was that lady who used to come to council meetings, wasn't it?
Correct.
But then she couldn't sell the property, and then she was living in it as a house. And the council sued her.
So, yes, it may well have history and there may well be some controversy in the past, but looking at an application now and what material considerations I've looked at, for me actually what's proposed is a significant improvement in terms of the inside of the property, so I certainly would be supporting it. And I don't think, you know, suggesting that maybe that therefore increase of value of property really is a consideration for this planning committee. It's about what's proposed, it looks good, well thought through.
And I'd like to second that proposal. It's also the thing we've got to remember here, we've got to sort of all remember as well, apart from any previous history or issues or concerns, it's about maintaining and upkeeping the heritage of the town. And with these structures, if they aren't maintained and looked after, we don't want any buildings to get derelict or fall apart. And in fact, you know, and no disrespect to Councillor Wiles, but you know, we don't want to end up with any more, you know, 57 New Street or things like that. So we don't want any properties to be left empty, derelict or anything like that. If somebody's going to spend a lot of money to improve or renovate a property, then I think we should be supporting them.
Yeah, I really did look at this today, and I echo the loss of retail space, which I think is a shame, but that's all gone down the river now. And I thought what they were doing with it and what they proposed and the information that they provided was very, very good. And they're taking out a lot of cheap sort of plasterboard that's been put over things. They found features behind it, the original oak frame of the building and everything else, which they're proposing to keep. And you know, yes, it will look very, very nice inside, but it's another building like the one we've currently got going on in Bowling Street, where something that's absolutely falling to bits is being rescued and someone's spending a lot of money on it. So I don't think we're ever going to get it back as a retail space.
Yes, thank you. I notice under item 7, I think it is, that the application for 21 Market Street has been approved. Application for conversion into apartments. I very much share Councillor Wiles's intervention. For me, the question is, I don't know what we can do. As several councillors have said, we can't refight the battles that have already been lost, and that the main concern should be that Sandwich has sort of safeguards its heritage, and that the houses are well built and in keeping. But I do regret the loss of retail space more generally.
Yeah, I can understand that, but the people that have purchased it as a private house, haven't they?
Yes.
Which needs thousands and thousands of pounds spending on it. So we're very lucky, I think, to get someone to do it. So we've got a proposal in a second, haven't we?
Proposed and seconded.
Yeah, but who's in favour of the application? Are you in favour of it?
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to abstain.
We're abstaining about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, two abstentions. Yeah, thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Item J, planning application reference number 24/00532, proposal installation of solar panel PV array to the front and rear roof slopes, location 33 Whitefriars Meadow, Sandwich, Kent, CT 139AS. It's a bit of a new thing, isn't it? Solar
I'm not
panels.
clear if we have any solar panels within the conservation area.
Ah,
So I don't think this is something that we should
no,
condone. I
no.
mean, we have to support renewable energy, but
Yeah.
there has to be a balance with the
I think really where it comes down to things is also if it's within sight, I would say, of the conservation area as well, because we've got to be very careful, haven't we? It's a bit like years ago, wasn't it? Sort of in the 80s and 90s or whatever, satellite dishes and things like that would scourge,
We're allowed in this conservation area.
No, they weren't, no. But the problem is like with the satellite dishes, if you're in the conservation area, you can see them just the other side of the road or the other side of the stream or something like that. It still detracts from the conservation area.
Different area, isn't it?
That's the problem.
Could I ask, could we come back to this after the next one? Because I just want to double check it, because when I went through the portal, I'm fairly certain, but I can't imagine it, there is reference to solar panels already within the same area. So if I'm wrong on that, then I can be quiet, but I think there may well be solar panels already installed, because it's been raised as an issue of why we wouldn't support it.
Yeah, Jim, I believe there is at least one property that's already got solar panels on the roof. It's a great shame because that was obviously architecturally designed, and it's got the right coloured pan tiles and all the rest of it. And once somebody starts doing it, everybody's going to get it. And if there's already some there.
That's right.
That's good.
Councillor Ross?
I mean, just because there is one or more than
Yeah.
one that has it already doesn't mean that this committee supported
No.
that
No,
in the past.
Because if already did it, I think it'd look horrible from road walk, wouldn't it?
exactly.
Let us know.
And also, did they get planning permission for that original one? Lots of people do undertake these alterations.
It's very, very visible from the ramparts. I see
Yeah.
Indeed.
It's looking across the bramble patch.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. And of course, the problem is round at Whitefriars, you've got those lovely orangey red pan tiles, haven't you?
Yeah.
And these things are like jet black blocks, square rectangular blocks.
Thank you. Yes, in general, I'm in favour of people using solar panels, but I think if you buy a house in a conservation area in a town like Sandwich, you have to be aware that the general appearance of the town is very important. So I'm not in favour of the application.
Not
Or
big
if it was for just at the back, I might
Exactly.
If it's just on the back of the roof, it might have been sold, obvious, but it's both sides, isn't it?
Yeah, just one final point from me. I think from my perspective, I think I will abstain, but because I'm just looking at in terms of material considerations, I'm just thinking about location, Whitefriars Way, all of that location, solar panels, and it's a very different scenario to one of the older buildings in the town requesting the same application. So for me, I'm less convinced about actually objecting, particularly if there are some properties already with it on there, regardless of whether they've got planning permission or not.
I mean, so what's happening is we're faced with the historical mistake of Whitefriars Meadow, which is a poorly designed, constructed, with apologies to people who might live there, but within the conservation area, it should never have been built, but we have to live with the consequences of that.
I think they've actually got UPVC on the front, haven't they?
Yeah.
On the boarding. So what we got an objection to it?
I'm abstaining, but I think you've got enough support.
I would propose we object.
We object. We second on that objection.
Councillor Pennington.
Yeah, we can vote an objection to it, to the area. Yeah, and one abstention.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Don't like this one.
There's a book on the back, Colin. Oh dear.
Okay, item K, planning application reference number 24/00575, proposal, erection of a single storey side and rear extension, location 57 St George's Road, Sandwich, CT 139LE.
Yeah, I only had a couple of comments on this. Don't tell him when he comes back in either. But I actually thought the new extension looked better than the old extension. And the second item on it, just from purely aspect from the plans that were submitted, but also the other aspect on it was, once again, was the old extension that is there currently is a flat roofed extension, and the one that is going in is going to have not full but partial sloping roof, tiled roof, which I think we should applaud and support if it's having a tiled roof instead of a flat roof in the conservation area. But I didn't know it was Councillor Wiles's house. But I've got down here that from the side and rear views it looks better than what it was previously, and the removal of the flat roofs, we should support it. That's what I have.
Straightforward.
Yeah, I'll second that then. Right, all in favour of that? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
Hello?
We saw it.
We've got two of them out the back. Item 9, withdrawn planning applications. To receive and note withdrawal of planning application. Please none to consider at the time of issuing this agenda. Item 10, planning decisions. To receive and note latest decisions taken by Daily District Council on new planning applications.
I'm going to say, do members want them read, or are you happy
Not
to?
particularly.
No.
I've read through them.
Yes,
Okay.
I will.
Yeah.
Can you-
Oh, Councillor
Can you remind us what REF means, REF,
Oh, anyway.
and the moat soul? Top.
Refuse permission.
Refuse.
Refuse.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. Thank you.
What was that one?
You said it a couple of months ago. Yeah, okay. Yeah, be happy with that, are we, Twist?
Yeah.
Okay. Item 11, street furniture applications. To receive and consider any application made to DDC in relation to a street furniture consent application under the Local Government Miscellaneous Provision Act 1982. Local Government Miscellaneous Provision Act 1980, street furniture consent Please note, none to consider at the time of issuing this agenda.
Sorry, Chair, can I just ask a question? Town Clerk, regarding last month's item regarding sales and shares with the market in public house, has
Yes.
anything been decided on that yet?
No, I've had no notification yet from Dover District.
Thank you.
I also asked the landlord actually,
Oh, okay.
on Thursday night, he said.
Sounds good.
Item 12, licensing. To consider any licensing notice and issues received from Dover District Council. Please note, none to consider at the time of issuing this agenda. 13, enforcement. To consider any enforcement notices and issues received from Dover District Council. Please note, none to consider at the time of issuing this agenda. 14, correspondence. To receive and consider correspondence relating to planning matters, including notification of appeals against refusal of planning applications. 1. Town and Country Planning Act 1990 as amended. Proposed change of use of existing flat and shop to a single dwelling, use Class 3 with the erection of a single storey rear extension, replacement windows and door, and insertion of flue. Location 6 St Peter Street, Sandwich, Kent, CT 30 9BW. The planning committee meeting on 13th of June will be held in Council start at 6 p.m.
Councillor Moore.
Yeah, do you want me to read that?
Yeah, go on then.
If you are successful in registering to speak, you will have to attend the council chamber in person to speak. And this is the Dover District Council offices. For 3 minutes in support of, in opposition to an application. Please use the link below to register. And then there is a link there for you to be able to request to speak to the Planning Committee, Dover District Council. The agenda will be published at least 5 days before the committee. And due to limited space for public seating, we will encourage all public speakers to leave the meeting after the conclusion of their item in order to free up space for members of the public wishing to attend for the following applications. The council is broadcasting meetings of the Planning Committee live through their website, and they are broadcast using Microsoft Teams, and a link to view these meetings can be found on their web page. The agenda as well is available a couple of days prior to the meeting, and meetings are recorded and can be watched on the link to their YouTube channel. Recordings will normally be uploaded within 2 working days of the meeting where this is practicable, and retained for up to 30 days from the date of the meeting. There is step-free access via the council chamber entrance and an accessible toilet for any available in the foyer. In addition, there's a speaker system and hearing loop within the council chamber, and in line with government guidance, there are no restrictions on your attending a meeting if you have COVID symptoms or have tested positive for COVID. However, we would encourage anyone with COVID to consider watching the live meeting broadcast on the DDC Council's website instead of attending the meeting in person. Applications to speak should be submitted via the Dover District Council website, and you will be notified by a member of the Democratic Services team if your application to speak has been successful. The deadline, if you wish to register, is 5 p.m. on Tuesday the 11th of June. So then the final part 2 to this, I had an update to share on the STC comments submitted to Dover District Council in relation to the Dover District local plan consultation on main modifications. So you will see that you have been sent some attachments which are the comments submitted on behalf of STC, and thanks to Councillor Suka for facilitating that. So all these were submitted over to the Dover District Council consultation, and I will upload these to the website as well.
Yeah. That's that little shop, isn't it? Which is speak shops.
Another one we're losing.
Yeah. Okay. Item 14. Correspondence. Receive and consider correspondence relating to planning matters, including notification of appeals against refusal of planning.
Just done that, yeah.
Just done that.
Done that one.
Yeah.
Down at the bottom there now. Yeah. I turned back the page. 15. Verbal update from our Dover District Council on matters relating to planning.
Thank you. So Councillor Moore has to send his apologies this evening, but he does have some Dover District Council updates for you. So planning application 24//00068, 6 St Peter Street in Sandwich, is to be heard at the Planning Committee on Thursday the 13th of June. He had planned to attend and speak against the conversion of the commercial premises to residential dwelling, but cannot do so now due to injury. Planning reference 19//00243 and conservation /19/00243/1 Montague Place, Woodensborough Road, Sandwich. Abbey Homes Limited, he's awaiting a response from a gentleman who's the Development Management Team Leader for Strategic Sites and Place. And this is around trees that have not all been planted in accordance with the approved details, as it appears that some are dead, damaged or diseased. The next one is planning reference 19/00243. Oh, sorry, it's Montague Place again, Winsborough Road. Abbey Homes Limited, incorrect road signage installed, and they have confirmed that the correct road name signage has been ordered and will be installed before the end of June. And then flats 92, 94, 96, 98 St Bart's Road, path level at rear of property to be raised to facilitate improved disabled access, delay to work being undertaken due to frequency of rain. The next one is around the land south of Whitefriars Meadow. He's awaiting response from the Senior Planning Investigation Officer at Dover District Council re the removal of the Harris fencing. The next one is ENF/24/00090 57 New Street. The latest update received on the 8th of May from the Senior Investigation Officer, this is the Planning and Development Team at Dover District Council, advising that he had arranged for a survey to be carried out later in May, which will be used to consider any immediate next steps to be taken by the council to secure and safeguard the building. And Councillor Morehouse is awaiting further updates. The final update is around parking in Hazelwood Meadow. He received a complaint from the Office of Craig McKinley MP on the 28th of February after access of an ambulance was severely hindered, which could have resulted in potentially catastrophic consequences. The complaint was referred to the Parking Operations Manager at Dover District Council, who referred the complaint to the Senior Housing Officer, as it is DDC owned land. After a delay, they have received an unsatisfactory response from the Senior Housing Officer, and he is now waiting after the general election to refer both the complaints and the response to whoever becomes the new MP for Sandwich. So those complaints will be forwarded to the new MP when the election takes place. Thank you.
Could I just raise one point on the update relating to the land south of Whitefriars Meadow? We seem to be going round in ever increasing circles on this. So, as far as I understand, the Harris fencing issue is now parked by DDC enforcement team. They're not going to pursue that. So we may be using unnecessary effort trying to get an answer that I think you already know. The issue I think that's outstanding is that at the annual town meeting, a resident asked about the land grab that had been undertaken by the landowner, sorry, the alleged land grab.
Yes, right.
And I think for me that's the answer that we want from DDC is clearly, are they going to be pursuing that or not? Because I understand it is land that is not legally owned by anybody.
No.
Now, to make any representations about legal ownership of a strip of land involves cost and time. And I suspect DDC may not want to do that for something that isn't really of significant importance to them. So for me, that's the issue. It was an action at the ATM, and I think we should be trying to manage it in that way, because that update sort of takes us back into the Harris fencing domain, which I thought we've got an answer from the enforcement officer, which was
That's right.
not going to do any more.
That's what they said.
I support Councillor Tucker on this. I do think we're going around in circles. It's not for DDC to say they can't do their job because they haven't got the money. It's their responsibility. They should know that feeling here is very strong about this, and you know, we expect them to do better.
Yeah, I mean, those that have lived here for years know that, well, we know, perhaps I know that land too long, but I understand that footpath, that strip where they had the trees planted wasn't formally registered with the land registry. But we did, was it about 2 years ago, weren't we? They asked all the locals, we said no, I think Dover District Council put the footpath, you know, the tarmac footpath up to the road walk and that bit of land, because they allowed the Rotary Club to plant trees there, didn't they? So they do know that, and also that land should, the paddock should go down to the gate and angle back to his back thing.
Mm.
That was always mowed by Dover, and I can't understand the reluctance of Dover District Council to say, and otherwise he'll end up claiming squatters' rights, wouldn't he, if he's there for so many years. But it's not right, we all know it's not right.
Mr Chairman, I think perhaps they could be reminded that they are actually called Dover District Council
Yeah.
and not Dover Council, and they're not interested in anything else from Dover. Sadly, cynically.
Well, do you remember there were some trees on there, because he was trying to get access through to his land, wasn't he?
Yeah, they
And
shut
he even
through
got Dover
roads
District
with an
Council to
axe.
cut the trees down, didn't they?
Yeah.
On their own land.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So could I suggest that maybe we just recheck the actions from the ATM, and if it is on there,
Yeah.
because it was a leader of DDC who took it away as a couple of actions,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure this was one of them.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, I apologise, but if not, I think we should be going back to the leader and saying, which office have you instructed to give us the answer to this?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll second
Yeah.
that.
I think we're in favour of that. Yeah.
I think Mark will be knocking on the door upwards rather than what we want
Yeah.
somebody downwards.
Like you said, we're going round in circles, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, not getting into that. Okay. Item 16, date of next planning committee meeting, 50th of July 2024. Thank you all for attending. Meeting closed at,
Quarter past.
Yeah, quarter past.
Getting early, Jeff.
yeah, we're on time.